take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine now. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. Good feeling. You wanna know is how to hold on to it every moment. Dive into it like my love is an ocean. It's overflowing. I swear it's golden. So good that I'm rolling. Baby, you make me crazy. I'm seeing roses. Baby, just maybe you save me. Oh, take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine. Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine now. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. Good feeling. I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling. Good feeling. You wanna do is move with me. I'm seeing blue, yeah. In a disco-colored room, hearts are blooming. It's so consuming. Love what you're doing, so good that I'm doomed, yeah. Baby, you make me.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. It's fine with us. Go and line them up. Fine with us. Fine with us. Line up. I said go and line up. It's fine with us. I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us.
A beautiful change of scene here in Galicia for the last day of the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup. We've got blue skies, sunshine, much lighter winds, no sign of the rain and mist of the last few days. Overall, top of the table were American Magic Quantum Racing, looking to close out their first regatta win since 2022. Who can believe it's 2 years since they won a regatta? They're, of course, the overall champions at the moment. Meantime, in second place, well, it's Alqueda Vitamina, Andrea Lacorte's team. First year on the circuit, they're already in second place. They really are going great guns. Platoon Aviation also improving now all the time, but so too are Prevezza, who've gone 3-3-1, and we caught up with Santi Lange. So Santi, how are you? How do you like Bayona?
I love it. It's a great place. I like to be in these new places. Well, we've been here a couple of times, but we haven't done the same sailing as in Palma, so it's great here.
Start off by telling us how you feel the Prevezza season's gone so far.
Well, a lot of work for sure. We've been working a lot in our speed and in our process, and yeah, for sure hard work, but we are improving, so that's always fun, and it's a good challenge ahead.
What's your role in that process?
Well, I am a coach in the team, and yeah, I try to do my best to help the team as far as of my role. So we have a good team, and so there's no reason why we shouldn't be in the top of the list.
And how do you feel at the moment in terms of the performance and what you've still got to achieve?
Well, I think Quantum have set a really high bar this year. They're sailing really well and quick, and so a lot of work in all the departments, but always positive and thinking that we can achieve it.
What's your kind of role day to day then?
No, I just, our normal day will be to catch up with Hamish and John and discuss what they felt on the boat, and me trying to find in the data and in the videos and all the information we have, the solutions or the answers to their questions, and then get on with it.
So from that point of view, where do you feel you are with the boat compared to the other boats, and what's the next steps for the boat?
No, keep developing the tuning, understanding the boat. It's a new boat and the fleet is so high that any new things, it takes time to learn it and to put it, to balance it well. So at the moment, basically just need to keep working in the balance of the boat within the sails and the new boat that is working different than the previous boat we had. And so we need to balance it. I think that's the right answer.
Was there an expectation that the performance would be closer or easier to achieve? Has it been harder than you expected?
Yes, it has been harder, yes, especially in the breeze. But as well, we had a little bit of, I hate to call it bad luck, but like in the winter, we had a training week in Valencia, which we couldn't sail a single day. And then the second training week in the winter, we only sail in light airs. So we really, with this boat, we never really sailed it in a strong breeze. And we had a couple of strong days here. So we are learning while racing now. And that's difficult and challenging, but it's interesting.
What's it like for you then? I mean, you're a competitor at heart and you're coaching. You missing being on the boat?
Yes, but also I am enjoying to learn something new. I need to be better at my job here, and learning to be a coach is interesting. It's really interesting to learn a new boat, because I'm sure the boat is really, really good, and it's up to us to learn how to use the tools to make it to its potential. So I am really happy in my role in Provezza.
And as a coach, what's your kind of approach on the human side?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because here you deal with so many good sailors that I respect, and they are so experienced that sometimes you think they know what I'm going to tell it, so why to tell it? And so there is a lot of things in the human way that you have to be careful, because everyone is so experienced and they know many times more than you. So they balance that, and sometimes you feel like they really like when you tell something that is right. So finding the right moments to speak and what to say to a very experienced team is a challenge, and I'm trying to learn.
What did you learn from being coached, and were you coached less and less as you got older?
Oh, I don't know. At the moment, I really like Provezza. It's a great team. It's a great team atmosphere. I think Erwin do a really good job on we are a family, and that side I really enjoy, and that's why it's a big part why I'm in Provezza, because I feel like it's a very family atmosphere. And that's a big part of why I sail and why I do this. It's not a job for me. I need to enjoy, and I enjoy working for Provezza.
Meantime, you've got lots of ambitions, I see, in your life. You're still doing lots of cycling and doing all the big calls.
Yes. We cycle every morning with John and Fuji and some other guys of the team. And this is a privilege of us, Sometimes it's hard, you have to wake up really early, but imagine cycling every day in Bayona. Last time we were in Saint-Tropez, giving us that little moment of, that little window of enjoying the venues we go that are great is really good.
You've also been out doing some big mountains, though.
Yes, that's as well, yes. I like when in the time off, I really like the cycling, and I'm trying to improve, which is hard, and not doing very well in that, but I keep pushing.
What about sailing? Are you still doing some racing?
Yes, I sail in Fox with Andy Horton, which I really enjoy as well. He's a good leader, and I'm steering that boat, so I really enjoy that. And then I am with the Red Bull project on the Olympic sailing, which I also really enjoy what I'm doing there.
In the meantime, you're a great ambassador for sustainability and eco-responsibility. It's a big part of your life.
Yes, Iago, my son, is is living for that, and is teaching me a lot, and is helping me a lot to be aware of it. And the Super Series as well, they are pushing hard on that, and so whatever I can do to help in that respect, I try to do so for sure. For our planet is very important.
I believe you were becoming an ambassador for Kick Out Plastic.
That's what I heard. Yeah, we are working on it, and it will be a huge honor, and I am really looking forward to establish and to work for it. You know, it's not only to be an ambassador, it's about doing things that are right.
Good stuff. What about today? What do we think the weather's going to do?
Yeah, at the moment the weather forecast is from 6 to 10 or to 9. And so should be suit us. You know, the boat has been performing really well in those conditions, but as I said, you know, it's all in the details, and doing if you don't race well in a day, it doesn't matter, you will be back. So we better, I hope we have a good day. It's important for us to catch up in the points. So yeah, interesting day, and it's always nice, this feeling that it's the last day and you have the pressure to do well.
An absolute legend of the sport, Santi Lange, a multiple Olympic medalist and such a nice guy. Meantime, we also caught up with Andrea Lacorte, the owner-driver of Alcedo Vitamina.
The secret is to have a fantastic team, very good boat, and being not expecting anything, so being relaxed, but always pushing 150%, all of us. Especially when you don't start well, you need to recover, you need to eat boat per boat, and we have a fantastic mental altitude, all of us.
Where does that come from?
From the fact that we entered this class without expecting anything, because this is the Gotha, the temple of sailing, non-foiling sailing. So we knew we were expecting to be last or semi-last or this kind of things. So without expecting nothing too heavy, you start already relaxed. But once we see that we have a nice team, a perfect team, as may say, and a good boat, we start pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing so hard that we never quit, even if we are last at the first mark.
How do you feel about the last day then? You're in second just now?
That second was perfect for us because we didn't start well at all. So we started one of our recoveries that they come out pretty good. And so eating the boat one by one, the second race, when we got the second, was a better race for us from a technical point of view than the first one where we...
Your recovery?
Yeah.
And how you feel? You're excited?
I feel younger. I feel younger, better. And even if at my age something is coming out, you know, but this kind of a sport, this kind of team building, this kind of atmosphere makes you stay alive and young, especially with the mind.
So you'd recommend it to other owners to come up and have a go in the 52 Super Series?
Can you please repeat?
I said you would recommend it to other potential owners to come and race on the 52 Super Series?
Absolutely. This is the real sailing. This is the real sailing made with the real racing boat, not with the cruising boat adapted to race. Anyone can make this team. Be ready to come back with the highest level of competitors and professionals and so on. But once you do good here, it counts 3-4 times more than the other classes. This is really something fantastic.
And a quick look at the weather today with the coach for Platoon Aviation, Morgan Reeser. Hey Morgan, the weather for today, what's going to happen?
Should be pretty standard Bayona. Right twist and more wind in the river, gradually working its way out. But the good thing is we'll be able to sail today.
Wind strength and direction?
Should be our normal northwest, and maybe 6 going 12 if it's good.
How's the platoon team?
We feel a little beaten after Saint-Tropez, but we're getting better. Staying positive all the time.
So there we go, and Morgan Reeser, then the coach for the Platoon Aviation team. Things going better all the time for Platoon Aviation, particularly after yesterday, and really also the same for Preveza. But breeze does look very light on the water just now. We're going to stay patient. We certainly all our experts that we've just spoken to over the course of the morning have said that we'll go racing. They're expecting 6 to 9, maybe 10 knots of breeze. But we're waiting for a little bit of a thermal infill, I guess. But let's look back at yesterday. Yesterday, the overhead conditions were entirely different to what we have just now, this beautiful Saturday morning and early afternoon. And this was yesterday, looking at the highlights. So second last day of racing here in Galicia, the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup. Yesterday we had good breezes, much the same today. We should get 2 good races. Platoon Aviation on the up, very definitely. Best boat yesterday. They are the holders of the Royal Cup and they're chasing American Magic. Let's see what happens today. So for race number 7, the breeze is at 205 degrees, a 1.8 mile beat, 12-13 knots of wind pressure on the start line. Quite an even start, but Sled start on the pin. Alcedo make a very good start. American Magic are just slightly squeezed out in the final few seconds. The left does come good for Sled, and round the top mark it's Sled leading, Alcedo second, Paprec third round of the windward mark. But down the run, Alcedo got ahead with Sled through the leeward gate in second, Paprec in third. Through the finish line, it's Alcedo winning, Sled second, and Provezza coming through on the final run to get third, with Paprec dropping to fourth. Race 8 of the series, the key thing really is watching the rain showers, the rain clouds coming through, which seem to bring more pressure in from the right. Off the start line, a really good start for Paprec. They jump out in front, but really the key is getting out to the middle right. Provezza have more speed and get out to the right early, leading round the top mark from American Magic and Alcedo. Platoon Aviation round in fourth. It really is so close round the top mark, and that's the order all the way through to the finish. Provezza win the race, their first win of the season so far. Alcedo Vitamina gets second, the top boat of the day. American Magic come through in third, and Platoon Aviation get fourth. So the standings after 8 races, 2 to go on Saturday. American Magic Quantum Racing leading the Royal Cup on 24 points, 13 points behind the Italian team on Alcedo Vitamina on 37 points. Third are Platoon Aviation on 42, and just 1 point behind on fourth place are Provezza on 43 points. So there we go, yesterday's highlights, a very different day today. Beautiful sunshine, blue skies, and the wind at the moment is just a little bit too light, but there's 1 or 2 positive signs on the horizon as we look to the north there. Louise Vancer, our on-the-water expert, 470 world champion and a birthday girl. How are things looking for you?
Andy, I just had one wish for my birthday: to stay dry and warm, to have a sunny and beautiful day. And Petrus, the weather god, was listening to me. We have amazing weather out here. I think this is as good as Bayona can probably get. Weather-wisely, sunshine, it's more or less warm, and wind is there. It was just a bit patchy, but now it slowly starts to get more consistent over the entire race course. And I think we will be sailing soon. Let's maybe give it a little bit more time to make it across the entire race course consistent, to avoid these up and downs, and have as fair sailing conditions as possible for this last exciting day, Andy.
Indeed, Louise, but it looks relatively straightforward, such as these things ever are on the 52 Super Series for American Magic. They have this pretty solid lead, and 1 or 2 races today. They should be able to close out their first regatta win. It'll be their first regatta win, in fact, Louise, since 2022.
Look at that. That's so interesting. I didn't join the series yet in that time, but I think they're in a good position, you know. They have a strong lead. That's good. But we saw yesterday that things can change. I mean, the battle they had with Platoon Aviation, that was very interesting to watch, and I was so interested in it because we see this quite often, right? Platoon Aviation and American Magic are both 2 strong boats. Vasco, the tactician of Platoon Aviation, and Terry, the tactician of American Magic, raced against each other since forever, I think. I was a bit curious about it, to understand a little bit how long these little love or fight-hate stories is going on already, because
Love-hate,
I think it's I think it's a love-hate relationship. I think they highly respect each other.
That's
I
the
think
point, isn't
they
it? Yeah,
really think that. Absolutely, they really think that the other one is, like, they have to think it's the other one is a good sailor. They strongly believe they can beat that sailor, but they know that they are very good sailors. So I ask a bit around since when this is going on, this love-hate relationship, and I've heard interesting stories. But overall, I think they're in rival already since the youth worlds, so since they sail for 20, and both of them look very young, but we know that they're experienced sailors and already for a couple of years sailing out there as tacticians. So imagine how many years they already can battle each other on the water.
Indeed, and they're such very different sailors. Terry is very process-driven, very organised, and very driven by the numbers, whereas Vasco, I think, is a little bit more of a, as Marcus Wieser was telling us, his first time sailing with Vasco, but so many people say he's a real sailor who sails with his gut and with his instincts, obviously backed up by the numbers, but he's a very different sailor to Terry.
Absolutely. I think also with being Italian and American, this can spice things up. But then we have as well Alcedo, our Italian team, in the second place as a newcomer. I think this is already an incredible result for them to be in a second place, like coming into, like being in a medal winning position coming into the final day. It's already an incredible achievement. So however this day will end for them, I think there's showed that they're a real threat for the fleet and that they can beat all the teams that are in the series already for such a long time. So great performance by the team there. I personally believe they will sail with the least pressure today, because they know that they already showed what their potential is. And as a new team, sometimes this is a bit easier than when you're one of the older teams. You have more experience, more pressure, people are expecting more from you. Because in the end, all these sailors, Andy, they're so good, so experienced, that it starts to be a mental game as well.
Indeed, in terms of points, they have a little cushion of 5 points ahead of Platoon Aviation. But Alcedo really had a very special day yesterday with a first and a second. And say they're 13 points behind American Magic. So they really, as you say, they really don't have too much pressure at all. Good to see yesterday Prevezza having a third and a first, 3-3-1 for them over the last three races, and as Santi was saying, a team very much on the up. Let's look at the give a quick look down the scoreboard just very, very quickly, just in terms of general trends. Well, American Magic, Quantum Racing, really super consistent, other than that 7th yesterday. Say they're 13 points ahead. Alcedo Vitamina, no pressure on 37 points, heading for their first podium. You would imagine, if they can just keep doing what they've been doing so far. They've shown themselves able to work their way through back through the fleet from lower positions. That was a point that Andrea was making, the owner driver, this morning. Platoon Aviation good in third, but under pressure from Prevezza. Paprec have been third until yesterday. A 4 and a 7 yesterday, but they really have shown well as well. They've been up in the top 2, top 3 in many races, sometimes just fading slightly as they go on, but Paprec in good shape. So too Sled are on 44 points, Allegra 55, so a little bit of ground to make up for them. Value in 8th position. They're only a point ahead of Phoenix, Teasing Machine 61 and Alpha Plus 61. Louise, there's battles all the way through the fleet. I mean, from Allegra in particular down to Value and Alpha Plus. Nobody wants to finish on the bottom of the table, but equally any one of them could finish halfway up the table, couldn't they, Louise?
Absolutely, Andy. I think especially on a day like today where we are expecting light breeze, any boat of the fleet can pull off a win here, and I think that makes the fleet so exciting at the moment. In light winds, they are all the same speed more or less, and they're all amazing sailors and they all have the capability to win. So we saw it with Teasing Machine. They're more on the back of the ranking now, but they have a first place. They scored first place and they almost scored a second first place. We remember that jibe on that last downwind where they lost the lead. But also Alpha Plus, they were so fast over the entire event. They also can pull off a race win here now to finish this event with some golden spark. So I think I don't write off any of these teams. Any one of them can win today. So it's very hard, Andy, to bet on a team today.
I tell you one thing which I'm finding really, really interesting and great to see. We've got quite a number of spectator boats out on the water today, Louise. It's something we haven't seen very often on the 52 Super Seas. There's such a great appetite for the circuit here out on the northwest corner of Spain. They're really loving having the 52 Super Series here. They're big, big sailing fans, aren't they, Louise?
Absolutely, Andy. Good that you mention it, because I only have ears for you and eyes for the TP52s. But now, looking around, I actually notice, yes, there are a lot of spectators. I mean, I think this is amazing, you know. Sailing is so big in Spain, especially here in Galicia, and having the royal family as well is so big in the sailing sport. It's just amazing for the sport itself. And you can see it in the city. Everyone is interested. If you go into restaurants, people ask, how was your day? How's the event going? Like, people really follow sailing sports here, and especially the TP52s, as this is the highest class of like non-foiling sailing. I liked how Andrea Lecourt said it in his interview this morning, that monohull sailing, non-foiling, can't go any better than what we can see today, Andy.
Indeed, he's having a great time in his first season, so fingers crossed for him. But the other thing that the local Galicians and indeed everybody from Bayona, they're so appreciative and understanding that they have this fragile ecosystem here, this beautiful unspoiled waters and coastline and beaches, and so they're really taking the job of being eco-responsible, looking after their own playground and their own ecosystem. And let's have a look at the sustainability things that have been going on in the last few days with the 52 Super Series.
So sustainability has always been a very important aspect of this 52 Super Series, but I think lately it's been getting a bit more momentum. There's quite a few different things that we do. One of them that we've been doing for years actually is the food pickup, because all the teams get their lunches on board and snacks, and then at the end of the day there's often quite a lot of food left over, and we don't want that going to waste. So we donate the food to either families in need or some local organizations. We also have a water dispenser that is traveling with the fleet, so there's no single-use plastic bottles allowed in the fleet, and all the teams are just using the water filtration system. There's also other little things that all teams are doing, and then we also have a sustainability ambassadors meeting at every event, so all the teams are encouraged to send one person to those meetings, and then we discuss what we want to do in the future.
That's a marvelous initiative from the Montreal Club de Yachts with the Super Series 52. They're sailing, they've got the championship here in Bayona, and they asked us to come with our children from one of the schools here in Bayona. So we are learning a little bit what they do for the environment. So this is a wonderful project, and we are more than delighted. We were visiting the boats, and the kids had the opportunity to see how the Super Series 52 boats are. So they were with part of the crew, understanding how it works, how they sail, what they do for sailing. And afterwards we came back and we had another little chat where we watched some videos and where we could see what was done in different parts of the world with this project. And finally we came to the beach and we are collecting all the rubbish. So we are divided, I think, in 5 different teams. Each of them have the tools necessary to clean the beach and to leave this beach clean. But the most important thing is, like, we try to teach those kids and to let them know how important they are to keep the planet clean.
I like that the kids are getting included in that, because it sort of teaches them they haven't done it to the environment, they haven't polluted the environment yet, but they can see what effect the previous generations have had, so they can see what they should change in the future. It's usually kids from the local yacht club, because I think it really encourages them if an action like this comes from such an important regatta and the professional sailors. So gender equality is one of the aspects of sustainability. We're making some progress. The class hasn't put in place any rules about it yet to encourage more women joining the class. But even with that, then we can see that, like, girls are very capable sailors, depending on what position, just as capable as the men. So we can see that the guys are accepting us, and there's more and more girls every year.
So great to see your sustainability initiatives locally, and great to see the interaction with the kids. Are so enthusiastic, Louise, to come down and see the 52s, meet some of the sailors, the likes of Pablo Torrado there, the sailor from here in Bayona, who's one of the key members on board Alcedo Vitamina. But fantastic to see the kids involved, and they're great for the future of the sport.
Absolutely, Andy, and I think that's also such an important thing about the Super Series, that when we come in the venues, we not only are there to do the competition, or I think like this we leave something for the venue as well and try to make the world a little bit better. I mean, I think every small thing you do is already a big help, and Santi Lange, we heard him before in the interview, I think also did a lot in his life for this already. I think I read 5 times or 6 times his book. That was quite incredible. Like, it really touched me, his entire story he's done in his life, and how much he also dedicates his life to sustainability is quite outstanding.
Indeed, Louise. Somebody who's on the helm for the first time this season on American Magic, Harry Melges IV was on board the race boat during the regatta in the Saint-Tropez, but he's steering for the first time. He's having a really good week, obviously, and learning a lot alongside Terry Hutchison. We spoke with Harry earlier on in the week. So, Harry, good opening day for you guys on American Magic.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really great first day here in Bayona, Spain for the #2 event of the Super Series. And yeah, I think we just had a pretty consistent day, had 2 good starts and had good boat speed. Kind of sailed up the middle of the track and had 2 good results.
What did you learn from Saint-Tropez, if anything, in terms of the team?
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have Doug DeVos here racing with us this week, but, we all really miss him. I think we had 4 good races in Saint-Tropez, 1, race that wasn't so good, but we really learned as an afterguard between Sarah Stone, Victor Diaz de Leon, and Terry and myself that, we work pretty well together, and, we're still fine-tuning some things, but I think it translated pretty well into yesterday's racing.
Does it feel very different on board to last season?
The only difference really is that Terry's back, which is great to have him back. We got to race with him 1 event in the first season I did, which was in Barcelona. But yeah, we're still, slowly working things out, and I think it's going pretty well.
Tell us about the evolution of that process, and how's it evolving day by day?
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to the communication between the afterguard. There's times where things can be quite intense in the racing. Everyone's super tight out there, so keeping things calm and slow, allows you to make really good decisions around the race course, and that's what we're focusing on right now.
You're very, very fortunate in doing basically 3 different branches or disciplines in the sport. You're doing the moths, you're doing this, and you've still you've done a lot of cup sailing. How do you switch between the 2 or 3?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely can be a little difficult because the boats are quite different, but at the same time, the Super Series, the America's Cup, and, the foiling moth is a super high level class, so, you're really just racing sailboats at the end of the day. So it's all about, having good boat speed, getting good starts, and going the right way around the course.
And you learn from each discipline? Are there you learn from each of them?
Yeah, certainly. I think all the principles of sailing are pretty much the same, whether you're going, 40 knots upwind or you're going 8 knots upwind in the TP52. So
you enjoy the technical side of it as well?
I love it. It's awesome. And, like I said, the Super Series and all the other top sailing, like the America's Cup, CLGP, the Moths, it's super technical and it's the top of the sport. So, we're all looking at a lot of data, looking at sail scans all the time, trying to, really juice the last 1% out of our boats, which is really exciting to me.
Tell me about your moth setup. How is it, and where have you got to get to?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good. I've just recently been in Garda for a couple of weeks, getting ready for the Moth Worlds that are coming up in July in Melges, which is in Lake Garda. Things are going well. The boat's going fast. Got to work on my fitness a little bit so I can hike all day, but other than that, things are going good.
What have you got to do for your fitness? What does that involve?
Just a lot more sailing, more hiking, probably a bit of cycling in there as well, which is pretty fun. But
where do you feel you are on the fleet at the moment then?
My goal is to be in the top 10 going into the Worlds, which with about 200 boats signed up, I think will be, a good goal for me. I'm feeling good about it.
Who's your favourite to win other than your good self?
Probably
Who's your favourite to win other than yourself?
Yeah, my buddy Riley Gibbs, I think. He's going pretty well.
And what do you like about this venue in particular?
Biona's been beautiful, and the food has been really good. Some really good local seafood. The scenery is amazing with the forest coming right down to the ocean. It's very cool, and the rolling hills. And the sailing yesterday and the last few days has been just fantastic.
And what about home? Because obviously you're splitting life between 52 Super Series and the Moth. You get home much?
I have not been home that much this last year. Been doing a lot of sailing, getting ready for the events coming up this summer, but later in the year I'll spend some time at home in Wisconsin, which I'm looking forward to.
So there we go, Harry Melges, the fourth. Who would not like to change places with Harry's? I think he's still only 22 or 23, and he's really approaching the top of the sport in these key disciplines. I'm sure will be playing a big role on the American Magic when they return into the Cup scene. But in the meantime, he has a job on his hands today, looking to deliver finally a regatta win, which I don't think since they brought in the American Magic program to the TP52, I don't think they've won a regatta yet. But Louise, how's it looking on the water at the moment? Then looking a lot better. We can see the breeze filling in.
Andy, best birthday weather ever. I think I have been a good girl. So the weather god is treating me well. We have 7 to 8 knots. I see it stable over the entire breeze. So I think we will start soon. Looks great.
And how's the course looking? We're in this. The wind angle is 290 just now. It's a little bit further to the right than we've seen the last few days.
Yes, exactly, Andy. And the course will be 1.2 nautical miles long, which is a quite good length. I mean, we don't have so much wind, 7 to 8 knots, but that gives the boats a little bit of freedom to play around on the first upwind. And then, I don't know, maybe we will shorten for the second upwind, or maybe even not. But I think this is a great course length here to see the boats racing and to define the winner of this series. I think we will do 2 races today. I'm pretty confident on that. And we have this, like, the wind, as you said, is a little bit further right than we saw the last 2 days, but actually further left than the classic sea breeze direction we get here sometimes. So we had it on the first day and on the practice racing day, the wind a little bit further left, like the classic trade wind direction here. And there we remember the right side was actually working quite strong. So the wind wants to go here in the river Ria de Vigo, and that's why the right side is a little bit stronger usually here. But most of the sailors, actually all of them, know that. A lot of them already raced here, and this is a pattern that usually works, but we know that exceptions always confirm the rule, right?
Indeed, but when just for those who maybe not quite au fait with it, Morgan Reeser was saying the breeze is twisted. What does he mean by that?
Andy, that's actually a good question. The breeze is twisted. It might be that he means that the breeze outside of the bay is coming differently in than inside the bay. I will ask him about this again.
I think he means that the breeze changes as you go up the course, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think we will see this during the race. I will have an eye on that. But to be honest, for now, as a sailor, on the final day, 2 races to go, I would look a little bit to where I am in the ranking and make from there, I would do my strategy and understand how much risk do I have to take, what side do I want to push out for, and what boats do I need to worry about.
Indeed, it's not just about this regatta, of course, and the pursuit of the Royal Cup, but we also, as Terry Hutchison always tells us, it's about the big picture as well. It's about thinking about the 52 Super Series Championship, which is over, of course, 5 regattas. This is the second one, and we're always thinking about the final days, and each point, each place can end up being super important. So in terms of the risk management, even today, you really have to be thinking long term. And I'm sure Terry Hutchison and the team on American Magic will be doing just that. They really are the experts in terms of risk management, as we've seen. So how's the start shaping up? We're into less than 2 minutes to go. Breeze is good, probably got, I would say, a solid 6 knots, nice flat water. Phoenix Allegra looking to start, I think, probably in the left of the group. American Magic also there. I can see them just to leeward of Provezza. Quite busy in terms of boats trying to find a gap. Paprec a little bit further back. American Magic tacking up, I think, and will try to get across Provezza, or certainly close the door a little bit on Provezza. Allegra have Paprec coming in just above them. Meantime, Phoenix keeping it simple. They are going for the pin end, as it were, certainly the most left of the fleet. You can see the bow of American Magic just coming forward in the final minute, but really lined up pretty early and really quite left and of the right. I mean, closer to the committee boat once again, Louise.
Exactly, Andy. I think we saw this already the other day when we had the wind more or less from the same direction. There was a big fight for the race committee, so some boats even couldn't get off from the race committee, started late. It looks pretty full for me now there as well, so quite big risk to win this race committee there or get completely parked.
Indeed, Sled I think is furthest to windward above the ley line. That gives you an indication of how much the teams want the right, and it's going to be all about the perfect speed build in the final seconds. From 8 seconds now, bow is still up on board American Magic. Pin is pulled on Phoenix, also on Allegra. Value look to be bow forward on the fleet at the moment, off the line. But it's a clear start and a good start from Value. Alcedo just slightly off the pace, off the line, but they do have nice space generally. Teasing Machine, Alpha Plus, up at the windward end of the line in particular. Alpha Plus have got off first attack away, and in the end Paprec, not a good start, having to take sterns straight off the line, couldn't find a space. Platoon Aviation tacking off to the right early, not really going with max speed. So not a good start for Sled at the committee boat end of the line. This is really all about sailing at max speed for as long as possible at the moment. Let's see what Alcedo Vitamina can do. They have Provezza just below them and so are tacking off. So good start from Alpha Plus, Louise. They started at the committee boat end and were one of the first to tack out to the right. Platoon Aviation looked to be quite good. American Magic solid. And just watching on that overhead shot from the drone how this is evolving for Alcedo Vitamina.
Great start for Vario, and I agree with you. They really came off that starting line with a lot of pace. When I spoke with Nopakao, the only female helm here in the fleet at the moment, I really liked how she explained me what it means for her to sail in these light winds and how much she liked this. And now, actually, I just saw Alcedo doing a penalty, Andy. I'm here leeward of Phoenix. I didn't quite see, unfortunately, what happened, but I saw them tacking onto port, so maybe they could just not cross. I will find this out for you as soon as I can.
Indeed, that looks quite likely, but that's cost them a little bit early on. Now, Andrea Lacorte said they were a team that were super positive, never say die, and this is a big test for them right now, whether they can follow that philosophy, give it 150%. He said just eat through the fleet. Early leader then, Alpha Plus getting out to the right side along with Platoon Aviation. American Magic probably the best of the boats on the left side, now tacking across. Great images of the
And
top
for me, Alpha
few.
Plus looks...
Go on, Louise.
For me, Alpha Plus looks in a very strong position there right now. We saw it the first 2 days. They were going fast. They were a bit unlucky with some penalty situations, but they have the speed, especially in these flat waters. They do super well, and now they're the most right boat. For me, I like the ride a lot today, so maybe they can convert this good position they have right now.
Certainly, they've shown that they can in the past. Best score so far this week has been a second. As you said, Louise, they're out on the right in good pressure, good angle. Other side of the course, it's Phoenix, Tina and Hasso Plattner's team with Tony Norris steering. Allegre and Paprick converging, and Paprick has tacked off. Phoenix have tacked now. Now let's see how Provezza can do on this left side. So very different conditions then, Louise. We have primarily very flat water, still have a little, just a gentle ocean swell. You'll see particularly on the overhead from the drone.
Yes, and a bit of swell, but the swell is very long, so I don't think as a sailor you can really feel it. There might be slightly pressure differences when you're on top of the wave or down the wave, but in general the wind is quite light, so you don't adjust the sails too much. But all the boats will have chosen their biggest sail today, it's for sure. So J1 for the jibs, A1 for the Janakas, then we will see it on downwind, so the lightest materials probably to make the boat sail fast in this lighter breeze.
Indeed, so looking good in the meantime for Alpha Plus, also Platoon Aviation. Alcedo Vitamina then in second, going on to the water today. Now have to dig deep.
We know that Alcedo is good in catching up, right, in making big comebacks, but the penalty so shortly after the start on the first upwind definitely is not helpful if you want to stay on the podium. So let's see how this ends up, but at the moment this team is under pressure, Andy.
Indeed, and they do have 5 points in hand on the regatta standings over Platoon Aviation, so all is not lost. And as you said, Louise, we should manage to get two races in. 1.4 mile beat is very achievable even in these breezes.
I always get amazed. Now we have this great shot here of Provezza, and the wind is so light. So if I think back in my little 470 on a day like this, I don't even think my crew could be already sitting on my side. It would be probably still sitting inside the boat. And there you see on the GP52s how powered up they are, like all the crew hiking. I love to see this. And then you also see that they pull the main traveler completely windward. This is very interesting. So on most of the boats I sailed so far, we put the traveler in the middle on upwind. But these boats, they have so much leeway that they pull the sails so much in. So they really put the jib in and really put the mainsail so much windward. This is actually their fastest way then to sail upwind. Because of the leeway, this is how they would adjust their sails good to the wind. I think this is so nice to see in these boats, and also very special for the GP52s.
I did, but look how close it is between the top three boats over on that right side of the upwind. Beautiful backdrop here in Galicia, very definitively Galicia, as Platoon Aviation tack out from being sandwiched between Vayu and between Vayu and Alpha Plus. Vasco just calling Vayu to cross. Wonder whether he was feeling they would be getting too close to the shore and run out of wind pressure, but certainly seemed happy to tack earlier. Watching now American Magic coming into shot. Here on port, going against Sled. There we are with American Magic. They're going on port, not able to get right in. So the right side generally looking pretty good, Louise. That's where our top five boats are, all in very close to each other.
Yes, Andy, the right side is strong, and we saw American Magic could not even come anywhere close to Platoon Aviation. That's why they underchecked the group from the right side. I like the move Platoon Aviation did. They were a little bit trapped in the sandwich, as you said, between Alpha Plus and Vayu. So you have two options. Or you're gonna wait until the boats tack around you, or you go early and then you're in control. And so they decided to go early to stay in control and now sail this long starboard tack on a free lane. They still have the option to step out again further to the right, but at least like this now they can sail their own speed. And they have been struggling a little bit the last days in these lighter breeze with the speed, but today they seem pretty fast, Andy.
Indeed, a quick look at Provezza coming from the left, really not working for them just now. They're in ninth, long way behind Platoon Aviation. Now then, Alpha Plus just, as I said, ended up a little bit too close to the land, I think in lighter breeze, and have dropped behind Vayu and Platoon Aviation, Louise.
Yeah, it looks like this for now, Andy, but from my perspective, I'm just here leeward of Provezza, and I don't know, because in the end, it will depend as well on the last shift and how the boats come into that upwind mark. So maybe Alpha Plus, as it's the furthest outside boat, still get a little bit more breeze, or maybe the boats who tacked out a bit earlier, as you said, will have the advantage, also because the the channel opens here, so there is a gap between the land and the islands where the fresh breeze is always coming in. So it would be interesting to see what was the better move there.
Indeed, just catching up with that lead group. Really, really close between them. Platoon Aviation, though, are credited as being the leaders in terms of the actual distance to the windward mark. Most of the fleet starting to move out towards the starboard tack ley line, I think. But this really doesn't seem to be working out that well for Provezza. Alcedo Vitamina already have pulled back a couple of places. So furthest to the right of that group is still Value. Quite puffy over on that side, and there is quite. You can see the little increase in pressure coming off the land. So how far do we have to this?
And yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to the windward mark now, and we are here in the last third of the upwind. For now, the boats from the right side actually look quite shifted, but I remember as well that on the second day, the boats, we had a similar wind direction, and boats were running out a little bit of pressure there on that right side, and they had the boats more from the left, had a little bit of a left shift. But personally, I feel the group that went over the right side here at the first upwind already make so big gains in comparison to Allegra that always got bounced out on the left side again, and Provezza that it would be very hard from the boats on the left to still be able to get closer to the boats from the right, especially as they start here now to put the bow higher and higher and higher. I'm now almost at the first upwind mark, and it seemed that there's a big right shift now coming in here as well. I wonder if Alpha Plus is already over the ley line, but not because the navigator did a mistake or anything. No, I think it's more that this right shift is kicking in here hard now.
Indeed, American Magic just coming in from the left, going against the shift for the meantime, but looking good for Platoon Aviation. Seem to have a really quite a good ley line to the windward mark. Just whether that's going to improve all the time, whether the lift's going to be consistent. But really, this looks like a precision ley line from Jill Salter and the team on the Platoon Aviation. Value going to be second, I think. So great ley line from Platoon Aviation, Louise.
Definitely good job, but for me this was a right shift here, so they did amazing. They were also, the luck is always with the good ones, right Andy? So
That's right.
Platoon Aviation is rounding now here in the first plate. Spot on ley line, right shift coming into their luck right on time.
So do we think they'll jibe set and go down to the left perhaps?
I think there's a potential that they might do this because they would actually speak for converting that right shift. There's always just a thing that there is the bad air from
That's
the boats
right.
that follow,
Yeah.
so they might go for a bit and then jibe once they have better air, which they actually also now just set up to do. It makes a lot of sense. But Vayu goes for a jibe. I see them pulling around the Janaka there, so they can immediately roll into their jibe. Interesting. Alpha Plus is doing the same as Platoon Aviation.
Oh.
Look, all the boats are actually rolling here straight away into their jibes.
But interesting then, boats which are well down to the regatta standings value and Alpha Plus in second and third in this race. The value are 8th on the regatta standings, Alpha Plus in 11th. So we said in the end 3, now 4 boats going for the jibe set. Alpha Plus pushing on with a standard bear away. Alcedo Vitamina then in 7th, so all is definitely not lost for them, but and they still have 3 legs to go. So there we go, heading down this first run, the penultimate race of the Galicia 52 Super Series Royal Cup. Race leaders are Platoon Aviation. Interesting, Louise and Pravetz's choice of tactics on that first leg. Team which were, as we said, really in a strong run of form with the 3-3-1. Certainly, obviously, had a big belief in the left coming upwind. Anyway, there go the projected points. Were things to remain the same, if positions were the same, that would be the regatta standings. American Magic would be on 28 points, 15 clear of Platoon Aviation, who would be a point clear of Alcedo Vitamina. And then Sled, Caprec, Pravetza, Vayu, Alpha Plus, Allegra, Phoenix and Teasing Machine. And of course, if that were to stay the same, then it would be a regatta win with a race to spare for American Magic. Not seen that for a while.
I like the onboard shots here on Platoon Aviation. You can really see the whole team super focused there. So full concentration, and we see one person sitting in the back, and this is actually a guest. So the rule is, if there is a pro driver and the owner is not on board, which is the case on Platoon Aviation here, Samuel is unfortunately not with us, Vasco, and Marcos Visa is a pro driver having the boat, they need to have a guest on board that is not like where there's no conflict of interest, so can't be a good sailor or like a local or anything. So we see a young boy sitting there on board. And Andy, what's happening there? I think maybe some boats in the course area or something. Vasco seems to get quite furious.
I think so. I think there's a cruising boat just in front of him, which is on their ley line. I think they'll be moved fairly quickly. There you get a better shot of it. Cruising boat trying to get a real close-up of the race leaders, Platoon Aviation. We can see them just, so they have got the message, they're moving out of the line of fire, shall we call it. Alpha Plus though seem to have made a nice gain down that right side. They've got a little bit more pressure.
Andy, I like what Alpha Plus did, you know, like they were patient, they continued, they didn't jibe immediately, which is a kind of risk because there was this right shift, so you immediately want to convert that right shift by a jibe, but actually the bad wind from the other boats is, I think, worse than the advantage of the shift. So Alpha Plus just continued for a bit longer and then jibed, so they had better wind and then now could also sail in their lane like completely free from other wind destructions or anything. And you won't believe it, but it's up to 20 boat lengths that you feel the bad air in this light winds from another boat, which is quite incredible. And I think this is one of the reasons why we see a gain here now for Alpha Plus.
Indeed, and of course in the lighter breeze, and the boats are in that disturbed air for longer. So an interesting point, but great shots now with Platoon Aviation coming back, converging with Alpha Plus. You really get a great idea, a great view from the drone, which gives you a better idea of the geographic layout of the course area, what's influencing the breeze. I think in the end probably Platoon Aviation sailing a better angle, a deeper angle, more directly towards the leeward gate than Alpha Plus are for the moment. So I'm pretty sure we'll see Platoon Aviation back in the lead in the next few seconds. Indeed, Alpha Plus make their jibe now. So, two boats between Platoon Aviation and American Magic Quantum Racing for the moment. Alcedo Vitamina pulled back a couple of places since the start, but at the moment their second place on the Regatta podium really is under threat. As you see just now, American Magic would be 28, Platoon Aviation 43, and Alcedo Vitamina would drop to 45 points. So Alcedo Vitamina need 2 place gains at least. Every place is vital.
Interesting that we see here now on Alcedo Andrea Lacotte standing. Once I had the honor to drive a GP52 Platoon in these light winds, and I always found it quite difficult to helm a boat like this big when you're in a standing position, but he's more used to helm big boats than I am. I felt that there is still quite a lot of load in that rudder, so it's not super easy, but he's doing well. Like they're fast on downwind, so he's doing a good job helming that boat there, half kneeing, half standing.
That's it. And really loving his sport. Alpha Plus, I think, slightly quicker, still sailing a very slightly higher angle for the moment than Platoon Aviation. Value to the left. Two lead boats will still have a jibe to do to get into the leeward gate.
Alpha Plus picked actually a great moment there to jibe, so they could just not cross Platoon Aviation, and they jibed on top of them to try to give them as much bad wind as they can to slow Platoon Aviation down, to have then an option to overtake them possibly on the next upwind or next jibe, because different than in cycling, we don't want to have any other boats close to us because that slows us down. So now they go into their jibe here, Andy.
Indeed, They will have picked their choice of leeward gate mark. It's looking very much like it will be the right-hand mark. And looking upwind, quite a bias on the gate that we seem to see on the virtual.
Yes, Andy, I can confirm that one side of the gate is very much favored.
So that will be fun.
Yes, will be exciting situations coming there, as most of the boats probably all want to round that mark, so you have to fight for your inside position.
All this excitement laid on for your birthday, Louise.
Ah, I can't wish for anything more, Andy. I'm always sailing on my birthday, or today watching sailing boat racing. That's great.
There are worse things to be doing. Anyway, in the end, Value get through Alpha Plus. Same order as the top mark. American Magic Quantum Racing, nice drop. Silky smooth boat handling. Alpha Plus clear their lines, getting it out to the left. Otherwise, all three of the other top boats leading up there, leading up on port tack. Paprick have got themselves through sled on that run. Quite interesting, the positioning of the other leeward gate mark. These robotic GPS set marks. Really, that leeward gate's not super square. Alcedo Vitamina round in 7th. Phoenix have made a couple of places down the run. So in the end, quite a spread through this fleet, considering we're at the leeward gate, one upwind, one downwind, and we can see there's already 2.5 minutes between the first boat and Provezza in 10th. Teasing machine, unfortunately, 11th again. On board briefly with American Magic. American Magic are the clear circuit leaders for the meantime.
Andy, I watched a little bit the rest of that downwind gate roundings, and there was this battle between Cheesing Machine and Provezza about rounding the not favorite mark.
Oh my god.
Interesting battle. And now Provezza even had to do a penalty. Oh no. So this is really double painful now, unfortunately, for Provezza. Rounding the not favorite mark in a battle Like they were really slow, both boats rounding that mark, and now they even had to do a penalty. Oh, I'm very sorry for them. That's painful.
It is indeed. Just as I said, when we felt that things were going in their direction a little bit more. But really, Louise, in this breeze and this track, then it's relatively easy for Platoon Aviation to keep a loose cover on the fleet. They're over 200 metres clear of value now.
Platoon Aviation is shining today, Andy, just like their boat color as well. Like they seem to go faster, they sailed free, you know. I like what they did there on the first upwind with tacking out early. Then the right shift was just right on time for them to be spot on ley line, and the other boats overstood the ley line like this, sailing clean on that downwind, and now they can happily extend their lead, because once you're in front, life gets easier actually.
It does indeed. You can sail the shifts to maximum benefit. We often see in the 52 Super Series getting richer out in front and behind. This battle going on between two boats from Asia, from Thailand and Hong Kong respectively. Value and Alpha Plus teams are great friends and knew each other from long ago, before the Value came to do 52 Super Series first. So then, a few words of caution from Terry Hutchison.
They're doing great. He maybe just tried now to calm down the team. You know, he's a great team leader. That's why his team also loves him so much. They all say that he really puts the team so strongly together and makes this team spirit grow and be super strong. And they're in fourth now, and this is a very good result for American Magic. They don't need to win the races today, they just need to try to avoid to get big numbers. So fourth place is a very good result if they can keep it until the finish line.
That's always Terry's target for each and every regatta, fourth place or better in a field of 10 or 11 boats will generally win you the regatta. Don't have to knock it out the park. And at the moment they're just trying to keep the rear clean and sail a clean lane.
I believe in this ring strength there are three important things to sail the boat fast here, as it's relatively easy in comparison to other conditions to helm it. So we can already put that out, because all the helmsmen we have here in the fleet are very good. So we can put it down to the hull of the boat. That is important for the speed, the mast and the keel. So the keel, I think, is always a super special thing, because we can't see it. We can only see it when they put the boats out of the water, which I just saw once actually in Valencia. And all the keels are different and all the masts are different. Like, all the masts come from the same supplier from New Zealand, but every team can customize their mast. So there are a couple of rules about the masts, like a minimum weight of 235 kilogram, which is incredible. Like, it's quite a lot. It's a 22-meter long mast, and it has to weigh minimum 235 kilogram. And then this mast gets shipped from New Zealand here to Europe, and the boats can sail with it. And they are allowed to choose how many spreaders they want. There's more or less a position for the spreaders, but they're allowed to choose how many. So the spreaders, we can see it now on the Aikido shot we have here, are the little arms that go out from the mast to stabilize the mast then with the stroud, so with the D1. Whoever was once there on a TP52, the first thing you learn, do not touch the D1s. So they stabilize the mast with the strouds and the Ds and shape the sail. Well, basically then they design the sails to fit the masts. Very interesting on these boats. You can adjust so many things.
This is one of the things with the, in particular with Aikido, since Aikido lost their mast in the first, the very first training session. So they have a brand new mast, and now they have sails which are cut for that mast, and for sure they're going as quick as the boat has gone for a few years, I'm sure. However, they're in 7th just now. 6 places behind Platoon Aviation, and there are 5 points between them when they went on the water today. So Alkeda Vitamina shooting to try and get through Paprec and Sled before the finish line, but the breeze is staying pretty solid, pretty settled. Louise now. A little bit of a one-sided track, perhaps.
Yes, Andy. So I'm going right now to the Upwind mark. So I will let you know once I'm there, okay?
Good, perfect. Once again with Aikido. Sorry, Paprec. Yeah. Platoon Aviation closing into the weather mark for the second time. Let's have a quick look at the team lineup on board Platoon Aviation. Well, the helmsman is Marcus Wieser. This is his first regatta steering a TP52 for many years. Vasco Vascotto, technician. Jules Salter, navigator. Victor Bernino, the runners from Victor is from Bayona and this area. Dirk de Ridder, the America's Cup winning main trimmer. Ross Halcrow, multiple America's Cup wins. Javier de la Plaza is the other trimmer alongside Ross Sko. Gerd Habermüller, the big powerful Austrian ex-bobsleigh Olympian, is one grinder. Andy Axelson is the other grinder. Jaro Forlani is in the pit. Mickey Müller from Germany, mid-bow, and Sean Dougie Couvre, is the bowman. And at this very moment, Platoon Aviation is approaching the windward mark for the final time. They're on course for their second race win of the regatta. Another good ley line, Louise.
Yes, another spot-on ley line there by Jules, the navigator. He has the ley lines on his little iPad he's always carrying around, where he can put the course in, and then he can tell the tactician how long it's still to the ley line, what are the splits, so how long do we still have to sail on port, or how long do we still have to stay on starboard. So they have quite a lot of information there on their iPads and help the afterguard, so the strategist, or now in Platoon Aviation, the tactician and the helmsman, to sail as fast and the shortest distance around the course as possible.
Indeed, coming around to the offset mark, they are. Vayu at the windward mark. This would be their best race result of the regatta so far. String of sixes, and I think Value had 4, 5 sixes, an 11th and an 8th and a 9th. Always important to finish the last day on a high at any regatta, Louise, isn't it?
It is, Andy, but isn't it funny? In the end, the first race of this week was as important as the last race we will see today.
Completely.
But somehow it just feels different, you know?
No, for sure, but it's interesting because, you know, Platoon, that period between the first regatta of the season and this one was as painful as they will have remembered in their careers, having finished last. And today, certainly things looking good for Platoon Aviation. They're not, I don't think they're going to catch American Magic. American Magic probably likely to win the regatta, win the Royal Cup with a race to spare. Going on the water with that 13 points lead, which they'll extend, I think, probably to 15. We'll see the projected points once the fleet are around this mark. But on this course, Louise, not so many passing places.
No, there are not a lot of options, to be very honest. You can play a little bit with positioning, but in the end it's a drag race over the right side. So you want to be fast, you want to sail on that right side, but not a lot of opportunities here to still overtake boats. Aikido actually now managed here on that second upwind to overtake Paprick. So that's very good for Aikido in the position they are, unfortunately for Paprick. But you have to be fast and try to find a free lane on that right side. Same now for the downwind. We saw all the boats straight going for a jibe after rounding that mark. So not a lot of opportunities on a race course like today, Andy.
Not too many, and of course going into the second race, everybody will know the formula on this race course. It's pretty much a right side track. It'll be interesting to see how Maria sets up the start line for this second race.
It was quite interesting to see, speaking about the start line, Andy, because I did my little check before the start of the starting line, and the left side was favored, so Maria probably wanted to push the boats a little bit more to the left. She probably knows that the right side is so much better here on the race course, but still we saw it, you know, the boats like Provezzo starting furthest to the left. There was just no way for them to get a tack and to finally go to the right side, so there was not a lot you could do when you start to the left. Like, the advantage of that favorite start line was not paying off.
Not at all, and I say it's going to be interesting to see. You can imagine that this is going to be a very, very highly contested start line for this second race of the day, final race of the Royal Cup.
Andy, I love the drone shots we're having here now, and it's so interesting. You can almost see through the Janakers. That's how thin the cloth is they use in these lights wind for the Janaka. So they want to have it as light as possible, and they use their biggest kite they can design. So the maximum size of a Janaka, 270 meters square. I thought I talked about this before, like, I can't even imagine how many of my apartments fit into a Janaka like this, but plenty, as my apartment is not very big. So massive sails out here today, and super thin and light closet. We can see a little bit there where it's attached to the bowsprit. There's a more solid, stronger color. That means the cloth there is a little bit thicker, but the rest of this Janakets the boat used today is super thin cloth, you can almost see through.
Indeed, looking at the Jenniker of Platoon Aviation. So there's the projected standings after this race. If positions stay the same to the finish line, American Magic would be on 28 points, 15 points clear. That would give them the Royal Cup with a race to spare. Al-Qaeda, Vitamin and Platoon tied together on 43 points, so the podium places at stake, or the second and third, really will be a match race between the two. Sled are 6 points behind, 2 points up on Pat Prek, Prevetsa's race, this time costing them dearly. They will end up, they're in sixth just now. Vayu on 60 points, Allegra 64, Alpha plus 64, Phoenix 67, and Teasing Machine on 71 points. A few young guests on board the different race sports. What a great experience for them. They're learning, I think, most of all about crew work, how to work efficiently, cohesively, and different styles of leadership. Maybe a little bit of a problem out on American Magic. Greg Gandel out on the bowsprit, maybe a twisted line or something, not quite sure. Oh, sorry, I believe they've peeled the kite. I didn't see that. Indeed, not something we see very often at all, unless there's damage. So it'll be interesting to see what the response is on board American Magic, knowing that Regatta will be in their pocket after this finish. The last time Quantum Racing won was in Barcelona at the end of the 2022 season. I think they won 3 or 4 regattas that year. And in fact, they won in Bayona, first regatta of the season. In 2022, they won in Scarlino. Barcelona, and they won the Worlds. Sorry, Louise, on you go.
Yeah, we saw now a couple of jibes of Platoon Aviation. I thought it was interesting to follow. They jabbed out first of that group, continued for a bit, and once they saw that Vayu and Alpha Plus jabbed as well, they jabbed back and now positioned themselves with them in a lane. So they really want to make sure that not one of the wind will get a secret magical gust and can take their lead away. I think this is super good. This is like very conservative sailing. They try to protect their first place. This is exactly what they have to do. And in these unpredictable lighter winds, things sometimes happen you can't even see before. So you always have to be super alarmed, super aware, which is interesting because, you know, I'm having a great time out here, sun shines, birthday girl, and you could think that the sailors are all relaxed there on their boats, but no, in light winds you're almost as alarmed as in strong winds, because sometimes things are happening you can't predict before, so you really have to watch out for all of these things.
Expect the unexpected and keep your eyes out of the boat. That's always the watchwords. In the end, though, American Magic quite far behind Platoon Aviation, the race leaders, over almost 350 metres behind. Value pushing hard at just under 100 metres behind. But we're pretty much close to a ley line for the finish line. Not too many opportunities behind, although maximum concentration, high work rate on board Alcedo Vitamina.
Andy, I just can see the projected standings, and there will be a fight for the last race definitely between Alcedo and Platoon if it stays like this. How exciting will this be?
It will be just that, and be interesting. American Magical just it will not affect the way they sail in terms of risk management or anything at all. This is all about the always the circuit standings. The championship is what's important. So they'll be out and mixing it up as normal. Only knowing that this beautiful big trophy is going back to the USA.
Yeah, definitely big credit here to American Magic. It feels incredible always to win an event in a race in Spare. I remember how I won my World Championship with the medal race in Spare, and I think that was one of my best days in my life. It was really, really good. You feel so relieved. You can enjoy completely that last race, so I'm very happy for the team.
Meantime, Platoon Aviation have sailed an impeccable race. Good start, got out to the right early. Little subtle choice of when to tack back from that right side. That was the key. Got through Value on the approach to the windward mark with a really perfect ley line. Value and Alpha Plus have been left to scrap it out a little bit behind him. So redemption then for Hornmüller Spears team after disappointment in Saint-Tropez. Former performance director of British Sailing, now at British Cycling, Stephen Park. Sparky always used to say, nobody becomes an idiot overnight. And that's to say that great sailors, America's Cup winners and so on, Olympic medalists on board Platoon Aviation, nothing's changed about their abilities when they finished last in Saint-Tropez, and proving how strong they are with a great race win here. As you say, Louise, it's going to be a great finale between Platoon Aviation and Alcedo for second step on the podium. Meantime, a great second place for Value, for the Thai team, for the Whitcraft family. That's a big result for them. Big boost to morale. One year ago, of course, in the USA in Newport, they were winning their first ever regatta as a team. Fortunes wax and wane on this circuit. Anyway, here comes Value. Sean and Tina Kang's program, based in Hong Kong. And then next through in fourth place will be Doug DeVos's American Magic Quantum Racing team, who will win the Royal Cup, securing it with this race fourth place. Terry Hutchison, a little round of applause. He's a happy man. Job is done for the meantime. I think that's as much a release of tension. Knows they've done a great job. Wonderful team. And Terry back in charge. He's not been... and I think as much as anything, Louise, Terry has missed this level of yacht racing, having been so involved with the America's Cup. So great for him to come back and be winning 52 Super Series again.
Definitely, Andy. Congratulations there to American Magic, winning with a race in Sperry. This is amazing. Well done to the team.
So Sled get 5th. Alcedo Vitamina, I mean, credit to them getting up to 6th, having been over the start line. Or sorry, I beg your pardon, having to take their penalty on that first upwind. But they were last off the line in the end, or sorry, last on the way up that beat. They did recover to go round the top mark in 7th on this what proved to be quite a one-sided track. Phoenix getting back to 7th. They were 9th at the top mark first time up. Patrick dropping from 6th to 8th. Allegra, tough race for them in 9th. Started the regatta so well, but have gone 10, 9, 9 from the last 3 races. And it's going to be Teasing Machine and Provezza then. So tough one for the Turkish team, for Provezza. Really, they were in touching distance, Louise, off for the podium. They were just 1 point off Platoon Aviation going into this race. So having done 3-3-1. So the momentum rather halted for Provezza.
Andy, tough one for Provezza, but great race by Platoon Aviation and American Magic. I mean, winning in such a fleet race in Spare is just incredible from my point of view. Like, they're still a new team, they're still trying to figure things out, and they just seem to be a slight edge better in starting, in speed, and in decision making over the entire week than their competitors. So that's exactly what you're looking for when you're sailing in this fleet. You just try to be a bit better than everyone else in all the categories, and then you're winning.
Indeed, and as we saw when they were over the start line, it was as much the ability to chip away and get back through the fleet, which was as much key as winning races. 1-2 races in the middle of the week. Wonder whether they push the risk a little bit and finish on a high note, but let's see. So the big battle will be between Alcedo and Platoon Aviation. Platoon Aviation with the upper hand, the winning momentum, Louise, don't they, having won that race? And you'd imagine generally that the formula will be the same. The breeze is staying fairly consistent in terms of direction. So it's going to be an exciting finale one way or another, isn't it, Louise?
Yes, Andy, very, very, very much exciting, to be honest, between Alcedo and Platoon Aviation now. They kind of have a gap to the 4th place. So I think if I would be Platoon Aviation, my target would be clear. it would be Aikido for this race. Same for Aikido, you know, they're a new team, they have nothing to lose. They show to the world that they can win medals here in the TP52 Super Series. So I think I would just go for it, you know. We are here like now in this final race to have fun, and I think there can't be any more fun than a little bit of a match race here. Good fight between these two boats, Andy.
Let's wait and see, Louise. Let's have a quick look at the standings. With one race to go, American Magic have the Royal Cup in their pocket. They will be taking it back across the Atlantic to the US. And they are in 28 points, 15 points behind Alcedo Vitamina, also Platoon Aviation, also on 43 points. Sled 49, 3 points up on Paprec, who are now 5th on 52, who are 2 points up on Preveza, that 11th. They're really costing them dearly, costing them their challenge for the podium. Value, the second there, getting them up to 7th. Allegra now in 8th on 64 points, the same points as Alpha Plus. Phoenix on 66 points and Teasing Machine on 71. So everything to play for the in both halves of the fleet, if you like, other than, of course, American Magic having won the Royal Cup already. Join us in a few minutes. We'll go into the big finale, the final race here in Galicia in a few minutes' time.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. That's fine with us. Come and line them up. Fine with us. Fine with us. Line up. I said go and line up. Yeah, it's fine with us. I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us.
Just maybe you save me. Oh, take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine. I'm running I got a good feeling. Running I got a good feeling. Running I got a good feeling. Running
so musical. In the club you scream, God like gaze, you're so beautiful, but you're not for me. I can't sleep lately, I'm just trying to find peace. Classic melodies, I just wanna be free. I'm sorry, darling, I can't breathe. There's no room for us, there's no room for us. I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us, there's no room. Now our lives are changing, promises keep slipping, and I always knew it wasn't you, it wasn't you. Now our lives are changing, promises keep slipping, and I always knew it wasn't you, it wasn't you. And she said, boys out here coming from a mile away, not as sleek as you think. DMs early in the AMs, I'm not Becky from the street. All this time, baby, our love was so deep. You can't sleep lately, but what about me? I'm sorry, darling, I can't breathe. There's no room for us, there's no room for us. I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us, there's no room. Now our lives are changing, promises keep slipping, and I always knew it wasn't you, it wasn't you. Now our lives are changing, promises keep slipping, and I always knew it
Why you look surprised when we've done this all before? I'm not sure the highs really make up for the lows. When words don't work and I get hurt somehow, I feel like I'm the worst. Manipulation overload, but babe, this time I'll steal the show. Please listen close. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart. Stop drumming on my heart. Stop drumming on my heart. Out of sync and out of touch, and maybe even out of love. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. Got me black and blue, making me wanna walk. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart, please stop. The rhythm that you're playing is just way up. You're not singing in the right key, check your tone, or soon you'll be a one-man band alone. Stop drumming on my heart.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us. Go and line them up. That's fine with us. Come and line them up. Fine with us. Fine with us. got next, fire with us. Line up. I said whoever got next, fire with us.
Well, we are ready for the last race here in Galicia. It's almost going to be sad to be saying goodbye to this beautiful, beautiful area. So lovely to be here again for the first time since 2022, and hopefully it won't be long before we come back. But we've done 9 of 10 races, and we do know that American Magic Quantum Racing will be lifting the Royal Cup for the 5th time. Quantum Racing won in 2013, 14 and 15, 3 times in a row. Then last one in 2022, that season when they won 4 regattas. So the battle is for the podium places, for tussle over 2nd and 3rd between Alcedo Vitamina and Platoon Aviation, 43 points each. Otherwise, it's going to be a big ask for anything else to happen for Sled to break onto the podium. They're 6 points behind then Paprec. 5th, 52, Preveza 54, 60 points for Vayu, 64 points for Allegra. Alpha Plus are on 64 also, so lots of little battles going on through this final race. Phoenix on 66 and Teasing Machine on 71. Breeze is still light, very similar to what we saw in race number 9, Louise, isn't it?
Say again now? The flag of the pit is moving more than the flag of the committee.
Similar breeze as the race before, and oh my god, this is such an exciting race ahead. I'm really curious to see, Andy, how this will play out. I hope you have the popcorn ready for this big fight. Oh my god. Everything to play for Team Platoon Aviation, Alcedo and Sled. Sled can still finish 2nd or 3rd in this event, Andy, if Platoon Aviation or Alcedo will be sailing worse than an 8th. So there's a little bit of equal points, and then who has the first more places and la 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 when they finish 7th. So they are sure to finish in 2nd or 3rd when one of the 2 teams, Alcedo or Platoon Aviation, will be finishing worse than an 8th place. And we have 11 boats, so it's kind of easy to finish 8th. Like, these boats are also good. We've seen before in light winds that any boat can win, so Andy, get your popcorn ready for the big fight.
I will do. And as you were saying earlier on, Louise, we may see a little bit of a match race between Platoon Aviation and Alcedo. That's quite possible. That would open the door up to Sled, but as it looks at the moment, most of the boats tussling, scrapping already for the committee boat end of the line. Whether they're prepared to come in late, that's a Paprec hallmark move sometimes, come in late at the committee boat end of the line and dip round the committee boat. We can see Platoon Aviation round the back of the group. Teasing Machine most to the left, and now that's quite interesting because American Magic choosing to be, I think, quite conservative. Plus, Louise, they also know that they have speed to come out of the box if they get time on distance. Of course, it's going to be so much busier, a lot more traffic, a lot more disturbed air up to windward. So this is an exercise in being conservative and hitting the line with boat speed for Harry Melges. Phoenix coming in a little bit later. We're already at 20 seconds before the start. Vayu made a really good start last time. They're just to windward of Quantum Racing powered by American Magic. Otherwise, Louise, the boats to windward of them a little bit shy, maybe. Certainly there's 3 boats back there who are well back. Phoenix, Alpha Plus, all clear and all electing to go out to the right, take some sterns. Preveza going late and right. Breeze is very right, isn't it?
Andy, what a start. I mean, in the end, just 3 boats were close to cross the starting line by 0. We have not seen this the entire week. Wow. I mean, that's quite incredible. And the breeze is not right, the breeze is actually quite left. So that's
yeah,
why
beg your
it took
pardon.
the boat so long to cross the starting line, like teasing machine starting there on the left
port.
side, tech to port, and is actually crossing now the fleet. That's one of the best feelings ever. If you get off that starting line straight to port and crossing the fleet, incredible. We've seen teasing machine winning a race before, almost a second race as well, and now they look in a super good position here. Amazing. Well done to the team, seeing that left shift and taking it to their favor. But that's super bad for the teams who are more in the back. Like, we really saw that they had issues crossing that starting line, and once they finally were there, you really want to get onto port to sail to the right side.
Interesting then, teasing machine have the early jump. The two French teams, top two off the line just a couple of minutes after the start. I think that American Magic's position will strengthen as they get across. But they have to wait for Vayu. Quick look at the battle for second. It's at the moment it's with the Platoon Aviation who've got to the right, but I like the position that Alcedo Vitamina have in the fleet in general. American Magic may be 9th at the moment, but they have boat speed and clear air. But the breeze looks quite light, Louise, doesn't it?
Yes, Andy, the breeze is definitely lighter than the race before. If we remember the pictures from the race before, we saw the entire crew hiking there, pointing their tippy toes to put all the weight out, and now we don't see anyone hiking. So breeze is lighter. Big moment now for the strategist and tactician, looking around, trying to find the next pressure, trying to spot the wind, because it's kind of difficult to predict a wind shift. Teasing machine had a great smell for that, but it's easier to try and find to see where the next pressure comes down. So I can imagine now the tactician and strategist try to look around a lot and trying to find the next kind of breeze, especially here a little bit of a split between Alcedo and Platoon Aviation. We're here on board of Platoon Aviation more towards the right side, Alcedo more towards the left side. So if there's new pressure filling in now from the left or from the right, this will be a big advantage for one of these boats, and it's nice to see a split between them, because there will be then a bigger difference later in the standing.
Indeed. Fascinating, isn't it? We were just saying, oh, the breeze is the same as it was before, and the breeze jumps out to the left, and compare the angles they're sailing to on this upwind on port to the last race. Completely different. So we're looking at American Magic and Vayu. Only Sled are further to the left. Platoon Aviation leading out to the right. Now that wind bend, would imagine, will still be on that right. As you said, Louise, everybody inside the boat. Quantum Racing have got 3 people on the rail and hiking.
It's kind of interesting when we compare now the pictures. Everyone can see that American Magic has 3 people hiking, and the other boats definitely don't have these 3 people hiking. So good point to think about for the teams, I would say. Nice to note this here, but American Magic can just purely enjoy this race. They've already won this event. So focus is definitely on Platoon Aviation and Alcedo here, and Sled. And Sled is at the moment the most left boat. Doesn't look good for them right now. I'm just here on top of them. The pressure is really light here on the left, but as the wind starts to drop, it also starts to get even more unpredictable. The race before was more of a drag race to the right side, and I think this race is not a drag race. This race will be about looking out of the boat, a little bit of praying maybe, a little bit of luck, but luck is always with the good ones, Andy.
It is. But it's like racing on a lake here today in these beautiful blue waters. Flat seas, light breezes. Great speed test all in all. As you said, Louise, it's fascinating to see the trim of the different boats, how the teams are positioning themselves. American Magic now have 4 people on the rail at the shrouds.
Very interesting to see now as well. They're on teasing machine. We have people sitting in front of the strut, so quite much forward. They want to control the pitch of the boat like this. In these kinds of conditions, you kind of want that the bow is not coming up. You want to have it all over the water, so that's why you put people in front of the struts or in front of the black line that goes down from the mast and stabilize the mast. When there's more wind, they come further back in the boat. But now in these light winds, you want to sit forward.
And then you feel like Platoon Aviation are leading into a stronger breeze now, just now, opening a gap on the teasing machine fairly visibly. Seem to be sailing slightly higher. We've got 4 people on the rail.
Andy, I can see them pointing higher, same as you, but this looks great right now. But once they have to tack onto starboard, they will be pointing lower, because this is a left shift, and we still need to sail on starboard to be rounding that first upwind mark. So good, very good moment on port. Let's wait for the starboard. I am a bit concerned, to be honest.
Just watching American Magic, which is one of the boats furthest to the left. There's only Prevetsa and Sled to their left. But again, you say, Louise, there's American Magic have nothing to gain in this race, but they have points to lose. And Terry Hutchison was fond of saying in the early part of the week, one of the things he's wanted to do was just not put to the boat in positions where they stood the chance of losing points.
People up on deck. Two up. Two. Take everybody.
A little bit more wind pressure coming in then for American Magic. Clearly, we're getting crew members up from downstairs and onto the rail, grinding the sails in a little bit. But for sure, Platoon Aviation just leading into the stronger breeze, and look what a kind of gap they've opened out to Teasing Machine and Alpha Plus.
I agree, Andy. They also seem to be going quite fast.
Platoon Aviation are fully hiked now. Cameron Alpton just flying a protest flag there. Green flagged. Remember, they certainly tacked early and get into the clear breeze, trying to break the cover of the boats to windward of them.
Platoon Aviation is really having a good pace there. For those who are following at home, I always like to put on the GPS tracking the long tail. You can find this on options, and then you can really see the bananas of the boat, and especially on the upwind here we had the kind of left banana with the left shift, and Platoon Aviation could just like go a little bit faster and higher than the boats around. So that's always what you're aiming for, faster and higher. I like that. The breeze is back. We have the entire crew hiking out again over the fleet. There's also breeze again over the entire race course. In general, I'm driving up here on the race course. I can see more breeze on the right side than on the left side. So the right side seemed to be working better again to the advantage of Platoon Aviation. But to the disadvantage of Alcedo. Alcedo actually chose a good moment there to tack, I feel, like back onto starboard. They have a free lane. They went as one of the earlier teams. But that makes a lot of sense because you want to sail free on that starboard tack. So maybe they can still convert a little bit of gain from that early tack and get some boats. But with Platoon Aviation being leader of the race right now, I see it difficult, Andy.
It is difficult. I think it's tough at the moment psychologically for American Magic. Going from the, I wouldn't call it euphoria, but certainly the satisfaction of knowing they've won the regatta, to now watching Platoon Aviation running away with this race for the moment with the lead, and American Magic are 8th. They are the past masters at picking the way through the fleet. But this is a race that I said they want to make sure they don't lose points relative to their circuit lead going ahead to Cascais. But this looking like a really tough day for the Turkish team on Provetsa. They were 4 or 5 boat lengths behind the start line when the gun went, with almost pointing in the wrong direction. They obviously only sailed half of the season last year, but remember the year before they were actually the dominant team for most of the season until the last event, when we all remember what happened then. But this is looking exceptionally good at the moment for Platoon Aviation. And beautiful, beautiful images. So race 10, first mark, Platoon Aviation. Something of a repeat performance of the last race. With Platoon Aviation round the top mark, the big lead from Teasing Machine it is. Then Phoenix round in third, fourth is Alpha Plus. All the black boats second, third and fourth. Then Paprick fifth. Sixth is Vayu. Seventh Alcedo. And eighth American Magic. Quantum Racing. Then Allegra are behind them. Then Sled and Provezza. So early jibes for Alcedo. Paprick rising up. Into Vayu. Very, very close. Great racing, and I think Alcedo might be able to just roll away there, get round the bow of Vayu. Paprick in the end pretty much stopped with that little tussle. You'd imagine that this can be to the good of American Magic, who are out and in clear air. The American Magic, Louise, keeping on going down to the right of this run. I think sailing in clear air is going to be key for them.
Andy, I agree with you. I mean, that was a strong move by Alcedo there. They were full on, like they came with a little bit more pace, did a little bit of a better jibe. Vayu was already bothering Paprick, and then Alcedo just went for it, just tried to hold them full speed and did it. I mean, that's a strong move, to be honest. You go full off target, you sail super high. This is just possible in these light winds when you have the Jenner Cup. Otherwise, this won't be even possible. And they went for it, and that's how they catch two boats. Two boats for them at the moment is not enough yet to finish that race in second, but definitely good if you want to secure the third place. And I now see Vayu even dropping the kite, so I think Vayu is even getting a penalty out of that situation. That's painful, to be honest.
That is, especially when they were having a better day with a second in race 9. Who are kind of in contention in this race. So that's costly for them, but in the meantime, sun shines on the righteous, and today it's Platoon Aviation. Nice to see, in many respects, nice to see Marcus Wieser back with the team, who's on the Platoon Aviation team for many years and a very good friend of Harmuller Spreers. He was with the team before John Kostecki came in as tactician, and I know that swapping round, bringing Kostecki in and leaving Marcus out was a tough time for Harmuller Spear, but it turned out to be the right thing to do. But great to see Marcus back on the boat and finishing this regatta on a high note. So that's the projected standings if everything stayed the same through the finish line. The places stayed the same. American Magic would win by 9 points instead of 15. Platoon Aviation would get second. In a double bullet day, Alcedo Vitamina will come away with third, 48 points. They're 10 points clear of Sled. Paprec would end up in fifth. Prevetsa 65 on sixth. Alpha Plus 7th, Phoenix 8th, Allegra 9th, Vayu 10th, and Teasing Machine 11th. But really shows you how the challenges change all the time. Consider that Prevetsa were on course to certainly challenge for the podium. They were just 1 point off the podium today, losing 22 points or more than 20 points. So now then, great shots off the Platoon Aviation team in action. Big Gerd Habermüller there, the powerful Austrian on the pumps on the pedestal winch. Javier de la Plaza there, the downwind trimmer. Sailing a nice low fast angle just now. Sean Duguay-Couvreur there out on the bow with mid-bow Mickey Muller. But also good to see teams who have not had such a good regatta like Teasing Machine coming away, well, at the moment with a second. They've had their moments, but they've had a pretty tough time. They've had a 1 and a 2 already this regatta, but they've had 4 11ths and a 10th. Various members of the Vitamina team, of course, were with the boat previously when it was Interlodge. Notably, of course, Cameron Appleton there, Dave Armitage. A few others, though the boat has been improved a lot since then. Luke Malloy and a few others. And Interlodge had a couple. Well, I certainly had a podium last season in, from memory, in Palma at Palma Vela, the first regatta of the season. I remember them going really well. Anyway, this day is it's kind of in many respects belongs to American Magic Quantum Racing, but also Platoon Aviation. Bouncing back with a big lead. Louise and American Magic doing what we know they can do and what we see them doing regularly, which is converting from a slightly deeper score. They were 8th, they're up to 6th. And their next targets will be Alcedo Vitamina. About 20-25 metres of difference between them in the chase to this lure gate. American Magic on the climb, Louise.
American Magic was doing great. I remember that fight between Alcedo, Vayu and Paprick. They all went off their targets, like they spent extra meters, but that was the right move for Alcedo being in the back of the group. They catch that group, but all this went for the advantage for American Magic, who just continued straight on starboard jibe, went on their angles, went on their target numbers for speed, and that's how they made the meters good there. So when 3 boats are fighting, the 4th one is the winner, Andy.
That's right, the door opens for them. Anyway, nice smooth rounding for Platoon Aviation. Absolutely under the microscope with our wonderful drone shots. can see the team in perfect action. Change of course, Louise, I hear.
Yes, Andy, we are shortening the course to 1.1 nautical miles. This is really good because the wind got lighter again. So that will be good for the teams here. For the advantage of Platoon Aviation, because they have quite a big lead to the second, and especially to Alcedo, which is the actual boat they have to worry about here at the moment. So shorter second upwind, Andy.
Good news, and we're on the through the leeward gate with the teasing machine in second. Should be Phoenix third. Tony Norris there on the helm of Phoenix. Little bit of an up and down regatta. They've always said this is about catching up with the fleet. Phoenix missed the training sessions in Valencia earlier on pre-season, and obviously didn't race in Saint-Tropez. And of course, the next regatta this season, we moved down the coast to Cascais in Portugal, and that's the Rolex TP52 World Championship in 1 month's time. So there we go, American Magic up to 5th. Through Alcedo. Going around this left-hand mark, looking upwind, is Alegre. Interesting call. So we have one more beat left, one more run. We can just see the hard-working Preveza team coming round this leeward gate. Maybe just a little more wind pressure on the left as we look upwind.
And you definitely a little bit more breeze filling in here from the left side. So I kind of like what Alegre did. You know, they went for the other mark to give themselves an option, and now come back quite strong to Alcedo and also to American Magic. So now we can see the water at the bow, like making some waves. Fabulous sailing here for my birthday, Andy. Can't get any better than that. Beautiful. And you said it on the downwind that American Magic is always going for the next gain, for the next gain, for the next gain, and that's exactly what they did. Also that downwind, you know, they just spot the opportunities and took boat by boat. And also with Alcedo, they drived on the perfect spot on Alcedo to give Alcedo the bad air, and then were able to drive in front of them and round the mark in front of them. So they really go boat by boat, which is, I think, exactly the right thing to do when there's no obvious next gain. And there was the scenario, and now they're back in 5th, which is a super strong position for them.
They're just recovering max hike for the team on American Magic Quantum Racing. It gives an indication of how much the breeze has filled in. We probably have 7.5 knots now. Still quite patchy though, on board with Alcedo Vitamina.
Nice, this is a great shot there from Alcedo. I wonder what they're thinking at the moment, because they're kind of in the mix in the middle of the fleet, you know, like the front group is quite away, Alpha Plus, the last group from that front group. Platoon Aviation kind of seem to say their own race there. I can see them on the horizon. They're fast and they have a lot of space to the second boat. So if I would be now Alcedo, I would just focus to don't lose any more boats.
Exactly.
Not easy, to be honest, but the front group is a bit ahead.
Be happy with third, I think, as much as anything. Which all along, both Cameron Appleton and this morning Andrea Lacorte saying they're ahead of expectations, they're ahead of their wildest dreams. He's quite a humble man and said they came here like many other teams before them, and hopefully in the future, hoping not to be last or in the lower third of the fleet. And in the end, they've done really well here. Worked hard, worked smart, set the boat up well, and a great team spirit. Finished 7th in Saint-Tropez, but within that scoreline, they finished off at the 1st and a 5th on that 3-race second day. But what a day as well, though, for Platoon Aviation. They finished in there's only 4 races in the Saint-Tropez last month, and Platoon Aviation finished with an 11th and a 10th in the 11-boat fleet. And here they are, the Platoon Aviation of old in some respects, looking at 2 good wins on the final day. We're on board with American Magic Quantum Racing.
That was great to see. I think it was Victor Diaz de Leon there going leeward. He's probably the smallest person in the afterguard and the lightest, so they sent him leeward to prepare the runner for the next tack, so that the boat is anytime ready to tack on the next boat or on the next shift they want to.
So for sure, I think Louise...
Andy, what a feeling. I'm at the upwind mark.
Go on, Louise.
I'm at the upwind mark here and can see Platoon Aviation already on the ley line. That could be a potential double win on the day. I mean, that's an outstanding feeling, especially for the crew. They had such a setback in Saint-Tropez, frustration, you know, you start to question everything. But these are just the greatest sailor of the world in this fleet, and sometimes things can happen, and all these boats are super good. And now seeing Platoon Aviation doing well here, it's really nice. I always want to do all the teams to do well, but it's great to see also a change in leading boats. Like, we didn't have a boat winning every race. There were always different race winners. I think that makes it so exciting to race here in the Super Series.
Indeed, Louise, I was just about to say, I mean, what's exciting is seeing Platoon Aviation coming out with a double bullet day on this showdown Super Saturday for the 52 Super Series Royal Cup here in Galicia. Great to see Platoon Aviation get the 2 wins, and I think it's food for thought to a certain extent for American Magic. They can reflect on a great performance here, winning with a race to spare, but clearly in terms of the overall title this season, they're not going to have it all their own way. You can see that Platoon Aviation can win races, and I'm sure can win regattas. Won 3 world titles, and we're really going to have a great scrap in Cascais. Let's hope we get some breeze for the World Championships, Louise. That would be fantastic. We always, generally often do in Cascais. That's one of the reasons we go there, other than just Pastel de Natas.
Look what a lead they have, Andy. The teasing machine, the second team, is not yet at the upwind mark, while Platoon Aviation is already sending it on their final downwind. This is incredible. This is really strong. They were not so happy with their speed over the week, but they kind of seemed to step up their game, like they were just fast today.
Indeed, I think Vasco Vascotto really on his game, the sixth sense working for him. I think knew where they wanted to start, didn't push too hard off the line, but got both times got where they wanted to go. I mean, Teasing Machine are in their position because they were on the able to cross the fleet pretty much on port tack. So many, I feel so many positives coming out of this race for a lot of teams, really. Good to see Platoon Aviation back working as we know they can. Teasing Machine coming away with a good result, and which will be one of their few regattas this season. So they're very much focusing on the Admiral's Cup. So they will come away with a second in the last race. So to Phoenix, to say they've been spent some time towards the back of the fleet, coming away with a third in their last race is good. So too the same for Alpha Plus, fourth in Saint-Tropez. They've ended up further down the table than they would have hoped, but in the end finishing with a 3 and a 4 today. And Alcedo Vitamina
Alpha
then.
Plus seems to be liking this wind direction.
Yeah.
They always do great when the wind is coming from here. They struggled a little bit the days we had the wind further from the south, but with this northwest breeze they're always doing great, Andy.
Indeed, Louise, I think casting my mind back to their first regatta here in 2022. I think Vayu went in a few good races then. We were here, was generally quite a light regatta, quantum racing as they were then, winning just by 5 points it was back in Bayona. Platoon were actually second then, and Phoenix it was who were third. Interestingly enough, Interlodge were fourth. So some interesting repeats, if you like. Quantum Racing winning, Platoon will end up second, and Interlodge, as was now Alcedo, will finish third. But that regatta in 2022, we only sailed 8 races. Yeah, that was right, I remember now. It comes back to me, Vayu were actually leading after day 1 after doing 2 second places, Phoenix 1st and 3rd on that first day here in 2022. So there we go. At the moment, will be 11 points of a winning margin for American Magic. Platoon Aviation 44, 5 points up on Alcedo. And Alcedo in the end will be 10 points ahead of Sled. Provezza 5th on 63, tied on points with Paprec. So Provezza have pulled back 1 place. If they could get through, Allegre, or indeed Vayu, they could get themselves back up to 4th. Anyway, at the moment, look at that lead for Platoon Aviation.
And the impressive lead, and also good to see Teasing Machine here in 2nd position. And if you look now on this image, I think it's super nice how you can see how thin the cloth of the Gennaker is, so you can really almost see the mainsail through it, because they use so thin material to make the spinnaker fly well in this light air. Now this beautiful jibe, inside jibe. I bet the crew's having a great sail out here now, Platoon Aviation. These are the races you like really enjoy as a sailor, because you have this comfortable lead. You can just focus on what you like to do most, like sailing. So I bet a lot of very, very happy faces now on Platoon Aviation, Andy.
Certainly much happier than the last day in Saint-Tropez in the French Riviera 1 month ago. It was a dismal finish for them. Very, very unhappy. A little bit of credit again to American Magic, who just pulled back 3 places in this race. Not sure they're going to get a chance to get to Alpha Plus, who are probably just too far ahead. A little bit of credit though to Provezza, who've got through Sled and Paprec. But Louise, it's a hard game, isn't it? Nobody can take any satisfaction from being last. It really, really hurts. And as I say, it's so important to go away from a regatta feeling like you've performed well. It's going to be tough in many respects then for Paprec if they finish up with the 11th, considering they were in the top 2, top 3, top 4 through the early part of the regatta. But that is how tough this circuit is. It's all about performing through the second half of the regatta.
Absolutely, Andy. We all know how to spell fun, right? W-I-N, win. And this looks like a big win here for Platoon Aviation.
You've been practicing that, Louise, haven't you? Go on, come on. You need to give us your other one before Platoon Aviation finish. Today's a present. What was it? Come on.
Today's Yesterday was history. Tomorrow is mystery. Today is a gift, so let's call it present. And a phenomenal win here for Platoon Aviation crossing this finish line, Andy.
Indeed, big smiles all round. A double bullet day for Harmula Spear's team on Platoon Aviation. They will take second place, runners up for the Royal Cup. Lovely to see this young lad on the back of the boat. Getting a big hug from Vasco. He's the lucky charm. And lucky being the operative word. He's the luckiest lad probably in the whole of Spain today. And that's a day he's going to remember.
What a birthday present.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Me too. Double win here for the German team on my birthday. I love all the teams, Andy. All of them. I love them. But it's special to win 2 races on a day. Very, very special.
But I think a massive measure of relief as much as anything. It's look like they're celebrating like they've won the regatta, but I think it's just here we are, we're back where we belong, doing what we can do after Saint-Tropez. But here come teasing machine through for second in the race. Nice, easy final run. Great conditions, beautiful venue. But you have to give special credit as well to Harmula Spear, the owner of Platoon Aviation. He's a busy man, lots going on in his business, so not able to be here, but facilitating, keeping the boat program going, and rewarded with the second place. Teasing machine through in second. Now Phoenix through in third, and in the end a fairly gentle procession through this finish line. Then Alpha Plus. I'd imagine we will see some significant celebrations for American Magic. Came so many times so close to winning regattas over the last couple of years as American Magic in the absence of Terry Hutchison. And the last days have been their bogey days in some respects, but not today. It's American Magic winning the Royal Cup. For the fifth time, Royal Cup. Been with the Super Series since 2012, since the first year. And the Italian team of Andrea Lacorte. Alcedo Vitamina getting third place. Great result for them. And then Allegri coming through for 7th, 8th is Vayu. Provetsa through, and then Paprec 10th and 11th. A little bit disappointing then, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes for Paprec. It's all about consistency across the full series, the full season. So there we go. There is the winning team. Full lineup on board American Magic again. Also, huge credit to Doug DeVos, who was with us in Saint-Tropez.
Look over your shoulder.
He will be, I'm sure, enjoying this wherever he is in the world. Again, in particular, a win for first time win at a regatta since 2022.
I have a really good one. Before control, yeah?
So there we go, and the American Magic coach boat goes alongside a great coach in James Line, project director and the president of Quantum Sales, Ed Reynolds, will be on board as well. He in particular will have had been waiting for a while to win a regatta. Also huge credit then to the Italians on board. Vitamina, Alcedo, congratulating American Magic as they go past. Good sportsmen. So Louise, your thoughts on the win for American Magic? Break it down into the component parts. What have they done so well this week?
Andy, faster, better starts and better decision making. It's incredible. They're a real threat for the other boats for the rest of the season. They just seem to have this slight edge better in all the categories, and it's hard to beat a team like this. They also seem to be growing really strong together as a team. They're a new team. I had the honor one day to sail with them in Valencia last year, and they were already an incredible team. Now they grew even stronger together. I also think they had a great local advice this week with Nico Rodriguez, former 470 bronze medalists, who's coming from here and gave them some local knowledge. I think they would just keep on with that performance. You know, they end this week with such an incredible high, finning a race in spare. This is outstanding.
It is outstanding, but I think what's interesting is them winning with Terry Hutchison back. I'm trying to understand what will the team take away, you know, because it's American Magic project is about learning, about facilitating for the younger sailors. You're trying to drill down and understand what is it that Terry Hutchison brings back to the programme that they couldn't do without him to win a regatta. And I think it's just that mindset. It's just having a leader and somebody who drives everything to the nth degree, and I think that's the key learning for them and every other team in the 52 Super Series. American Magic then winning the Royal Cup on 33 points. 11 points clear of Platoon Aviation, who finished with that double win today to take second place. Alcedo Vitamina, their Italian debutants this season, getting their first podium place on 49 points. They are 9 points clear of Sled, who get fourth on 58 points. Paprec get 63 points for fifth. Provezza 64 points for sixth. And Alpha Plus 68 points for seventh in eighth. Also on 68 points Vayu. Phoenix on 69 points in ninth. So really there's only those 6 points between Paprec in fifth and Phoenix in ninth. So really super close. And then Allegra on 71 points. Teasing Machine in 11th on 73 points. But really food for thought. Great indications of what we're going to enjoy in Cascais. Really it's going to be super open there. I think American Magic probably head there as favourites, but really anything can happen there. We're generally get a nice big breeze, big waves. Never been good venue in particular for Platoon Aviation. It's always been a good venue for American Magic or Quantum Racing. Let's look at hopefully the circuit standings after 2 regattas, 14 races only sailed so far. American Magic then have a 20-point lead for the circuit at the moment, 51 points ahead of Sled and 71 points. Alcedo Vitamina now up to a third on 77 points. Platoon Aviation catching up to fourth on 80 points, 86.5 points for Paprec in fifth. Alpha Plus on sixth on 89.5 points, 94 for Brevetza. Vayu in eighth on 95, 101 for Allegra in ninth. 10th is Phoenix on 117, Teasing Machine 121, 132 for Gladiator in 12th, who obviously weren't here and score maximum points over the 10 races, 12 points, number of starters +1 for each race, and Criolla also not here, also counting 120 points. So that's it from Galicia, from beautiful Bayona. Wonderful to be here. Thanks so much to the Yacht Club, who have been wonderful hosts. We hope to be back here soon. Thank you very much indeed to you, Louise, for wonderful insights and great humour. And I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Hopefully we'll get some time to share it with you. And thank you all for joining us here in Galicia. We'll see you in 1 month's time in Cascais in Portugal for the Rolex TP52 World Championships. Join us then.
I said go and line up. Whoever got next is fine with us. Line up. I said whoever got next is fine with us.